Bigz and Piper.
Yes. So, how tell us a little bit about yourself. For those who don't know, I mean, this is the first time you're on this station, right?
Second.
Yeah. All right. Well, just tell us a bit about yourself. Who is Saddem Hosein?
Saddem Hosein, 29 years old, senator for the last 3 years, attorney at law at the age of 23, and I became a senator at the age 26.
Oh.
So a very young political career I embarked on. I think the reason I did that is because too often you hear that person say that the youth is disconnected with the politics, and politics determines your future. And if we don't take part now in terms of the decisions we make for our generation, then we can't complain when that time reach. So we have to take control of the decisions now for our generation.
All right. Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely. Fair enough. Why politics?
Well, law first.
Law first.
Became a lawyer first. And politics is... law is a subset of politics because the major part of politics is making law.
Right.
Right? So automatically, when I became an attorney at law, I knew I was interested in politics. In terms of representing people, in terms of helping people, in terms of ensuring that the standard of living of persons increase. Also ensuring that, again, as I said earlier, that the youth has a voice in the parliament.
Right.
And Kamala Persad-Bissessar, that's her mantra, that you need a mix, a perfect mix of young people as well as experienced. And that is what she did in this election. Because right here in Barataria, the seat that I'm fighting, Barataria San Juan, you would have seen that materialize because I'm a young face, a fresh person to politics. But standing right alongside me is Dr. Fuad Khan,
Yes.
the outgoing MP.
Yeah, who's been a stalwart.
Yeah, he served that constituency for the past 25 years.
Right.
And now he's handing me that mantle in order to go forward. And I thank him for that, and I thank him for his service. Dr. Khan has been a tremendous support so far in the campaign. And I think we are going to win this thing with a large margin as we go forward.
Nice, because I was just about to ask you, how was that transition from him to you?
Well,
from Dr. Khan to yourself? How was that?
It's good because you could actually see the youth and the experience mixing. Because while Dr. Khan has his strategies, I have my style also, and we're marrying the both of them together, and we're having a very good response on the ground. Right now, you see when we go around the constituency, and the mantra for this campaign is love.
Yeah.
Love all, serve all. And you have seen the persons gravitate towards the UNC. That is partially because of several reasons. One, because persons are fed up of the PNM. And two, they know that the UNC will perform. And they know that the UNC has performed in the past. And we will do it again because based on our constitution itself, you would know that our party is based on social development, ensuring that we have a people-centered development going forward. Unlike other political parties, we focus on people.
All right. And I mean, you've been walking about 6 weeks now?
Just about 3 weeks I've been walking.
About 3 weeks you've been walking.
I have finished the entire constituency.
You've finished it. All right.
So this is my second walk now.
All right. Nice. So, what are some of the major issues that you've identified or you've seen, or what the people have told you?
All right. So Barataria San Juan is quite a very unique constituency. It's very small in terms of the geographical size as compared to other constituencies. So each part of the constituency you go, you will find various problems.
Yeah.
So for example, if I'm to start on the area just north of the Eastern Main Road, you would realize that there's a lot of unemployment and lack of opportunities, especially for young people. If I take you to the other end of the constituency, which is the southern part,
Right.
as you go south, you'd realize that the persons there have issues with respect to flooding and infrastructural issues. When you look at Elsegrove proper, you realize that there are issues with respect to traffic.
Yeah.
When you look at the Barataria area, you would have issues with respect to housing because it's a largely tenanted area, and persons are asking about housing, and there's also some infrastructural issues in that area. So it's not one issue per
It's
se.
a myriad of, depending on which geographical part of the constituency
but
you go.
Crime is an issue that is of concern for
across the board
in the constituency. And I think going forward now, we have to look at immediate plans. I have organized a team since I've been nominated as a candidate for the UNC, and we drafted a local manifesto. So we have a plan,
Right.
and we know what are the target items and the action items as soon as the election is over, where we are going to fix.
Yeah, what you're gonna do first.
Exactly.
It's like in,
So it's not that we're going and we're just going there out there willy-nilly. We're going there with a plan, we're focused, and we know what we're going to do. We have been in the opposition for the last 5 years, but we have been working, and we have been working very hard. That is why today we can bring to the nation an economic transformation master plan, where that plan is geared towards getting 50,000 jobs for people of Trinidad and Tobago. And the persons from my constituency and other parts of Trinidad and Tobago will benefit from that 50,000 jobs.
yeah.
You also have, with respect to lower tax cuts with respect to personal and corporate taxes, which again will benefit my constituency.
Yeah, because there's an entire business area
Exactly.
in that constituency.
Barataria is the business hub
Yeah.
outside of Port
Port
of
of Spain,
Spain.
yeah.
When you drive through El Socorro Main Road,
Yeah.
you would see that on both sides of the roads are lined with businesses. So the plan is geared for all. We understand Trinidad and Tobago is in a very bad state with respect to the economy, but we want to make the point that COVID did not cause the economy to be bad. The economy was bad before COVID.
Yeah, COVID just helped it along.
The PNM actually made the economy bad. I can say that boldly, because when we look at the economic indicators, you would have seen that while we were there, you had foreign direct investment. And what does that mean? It means that businesses felt confident enough to invest in Trinidad.
And Tobago.
And you saw the index was going up. Do you know today that index is at negative, which means that not only businesses stop investing, but they're actually pulling out of Trinidad and Tobago because you did not create the environment for them to sustain themselves. When you look at the unemployment rate, you would see that while we are speaking about creating 50,000 jobs, the PNM has caused us to lose over 100,000 jobs in the last 5 years. You have the closure of Petrotrin, you had the closure of other state enterprises, private enterprises, you had the decimation of the Point Lisa's industrial park. You also had other businesses cannot sustain themselves, like small businesses where they have to fire persons. And we have the figures, we have the data, because while the PNM is hiding the numbers, we have the data in terms of when you work, you contribute towards the National Insurance Service. And therefore, we have seen the decline in that number. So you would
Yeah.
know that there are not enough persons
Contributing.
So that means that there was a reduction in the employment rate. So no matter how much you try to hide the figures, we have the data in order to prove what we are saying. And those are some of the things that the PNM has not focused on. But as a young person, telling everybody this, that I was given an opportunity to serve in the parliament at the age 26. So it is my duty to ensure that other young persons like myself also get an opportunity. For example, in my constituency, persons just want jobs. There are a lot of young persons who don't have opportunities, and they are very qualified. They hold degrees, some of them have training certificates, but there is no job opportunity for them. And we must create that environment right there, because I have a large, as we just discussed, we have a large private sector, business private sector. So we must stimulate that industry in order to also assist persons who are looking for jobs. So once businesses grow, you have opportunities for other persons. You
Employment
must
opportunities.
also create opportunities within the public sector. You can't just pick some and don't pick some. The PNM has shown for the last 5 years that they are not people-centered, because when you have one minister collecting $23 million in rent and another minister buying sports car for I don't know how much money, where is the people-centered development? When you have one person alone having $100 million based on some deal, and then you have a government dealing with Venezuela that the world is frowning upon, how could we put our trust and confidence in these persons for the next 5 years?
Correct. So let's come back to Barataria. So So the geographic of where does it start? Up north.
North, right? So you would have the seat running from on the Saddle Road, right? And you know where Sunshine is,
Yeah.
right? And then we come all the way down into we cross the priority bus route. We come down into Barataria, the boundaries where the maritime roundabout is.
Right.
Then we go all the way down into El Socorro South.
Yeah.
So we south now, and then the seat comes back around onto Boundary Road, which is the boundary.
Right.
Right, and that boundary actually is the boundary between Barataria South and St. Joseph.
Right,
Yes,
correct. So Aranguez is more into St. Joseph. So,
Yes.
yeah. So you more, yeah, right.
Yeah. So boundary road is the boundary.
Yeah.
Everything west is Barataria. Everything east will be
Right.
St. Joseph.
So from your walk, you said you walked the entire constituency. How is the infrastructure? How has it been taken care of in the last 5 years?
Yeah.
The drains, the rivers,
Well, you will know that that corporation that will be most responsible for the clearing of the secondary drains and maintenance of the secondary roads will be the Sawa Lavender Regional Corporation, controlled by the PNM. I have seen various issues with respect to some of the infrastructural work, clearing of drains. The councillors have complained that they have tried their best, but the resources aren't coming. You would hear it all the time that they complain about the lack of resources in the corporation. Now, I don't know whether or not, because this is a UNC controlled area, whether or not we're being stifled with respect to the resources.
Yeah.
But we have started to do a lot of work in the area by ourselves. I can give you one example where I started to clear a river right in Barataria, and they came and stopped us. So we were clearing the river, hired backhoes because we realized that the rain is coming.
Yeah.
So we cleared the area, and when the backhoe was about halfway completed, they stopped. They stopped the backhoe from continuing his work.
And what was the reason for that?
No
They
reason
get-
was
they
given.
just say
Yeah.
stop.
So exactly. So I have to follow up with respect to that issue, because I want to ensure that while I am there, that persons don't have to worry about flooding. Because
Because Barataria, when the rains come,
there's a lot of
and that water come down from the hill.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's really bad.
Yeah. All right. So what? Let's talk about the actual constituents. It's a good mix.
Very good.
Very good mix.
Well, I call it the microcosm of Trinidad and Tobago.
Right. So what have they been telling you?
A lot of persons have expressed their frustration again, as I said, with the PNM, and they're very welcoming that a young person is coming to fight for the seat this time, and I think the youths are a bit excited. I don't know if Bigz was there on Sunday
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
when the political leader came into Barataria, and it was like a carnival
For real.
style atmosphere. You had people just walking and waving flags. It was a celebration on the road that the political leader is here, that it's a signal for change, that a change is going to come. It really was a very magnificent event on Sunday, and the response that we got on that day was phenomenal.
It was Piper on internet. I swear for a moment it was carnival.
Yeah.
Yeah, I swear it was carnival. But the vibrance of the youth on the ground for the next MP for Barataria, Piper, I'm telling you,
Yeah.
the energy is.
Well, I saw some
on a thousand.
videos. I saw some videos of it. But what about the older folks? What are they telling you?
You see, the older folks, they are very happy also, because they invest in their children,
Right.
and I am going to invest in their children. So the thing is, we're not going to exclude them, because we also have a plan for the senior citizens, especially those who are pensionable. We were the only government to have raised the senior citizen pension at the highest level.
Yeah.
Under Kamala Prasad Bisasa regime. When we looked, if you go back, let's just rewind to 2015 when we campaigned. There was an entire part of our manifesto called the silver economy,
Yeah.
because when you retire, it means that that's not the end of life,
Yeah.
It means that you now have a space and a place to advise others and show guidance, especially to the younger ones, because you carry a wealth of experience with you.
Knowledge.
So we have to also tap into all of those resources and that we have, because you can't get anything better than experience.
True. So true. All right. So let me give you a little difficult one. Right. So now we know the constituency of it's split. in terms of you would have areas that the PNM would be stronger. You'd have areas there. Have you gone into these areas? You said you walked the entire, so you've gone into those areas. What has been the response in those PNM, as we would say, strongholds?
I want to be bold enough and say that there's no PNM stronghold again in Barataria San Juan.
All right. All right.
When I walked, the love that we got from every single part of the constituency was overwhelming. That entire, you will, if you look at the trends, yes, you will see that there's a traditional voting pattern in various polling divisions. But I think that will change this time around, because the ground is shifting, and it's not only in Barataria San Juan, but it is all over Trinidad and Tobago, and it has to do a lot with the hope that the political leader and the UNC is giving the citizens. The hope is there that we have a plan. Imagine we are 3 weeks into a general election and the government cannot tell us what their plan is for the next 5 years. Well, we never heard about a plan in the first place in 2015.
We haven't heard what they've done for the past 5 years.
Exactly.
I mean, they've done a few things, but nothing major.
Well, they did a lot in terms of corruption and issues like that. But you mean to tell me that they spent over $250 billion? Over $250 billion. Think about how much money that is.
Yeah.
And what do they have to show for it?
Well, we could get some national pride by the president. Oh,
the completion of the Red House.
Yeah.
Well, I was branded a traitor and I was unpatriotic because apparently I showed some photos of the leaking roof at the Red House.
Well, I mean, you'll get that no matter what. That's minor. And then
But that's distraction. The PNM has engaged in a campaign right now. They have no plan. They give no opportunities, no hope to the people. We are campaigning. We are going to create 50,000 new jobs. That is the difference between us and them. So when people say that you all are the same, no. Look at what the UNC is doing compared to what the PNM is doing. Look at what we did in 5 years. We built 106 schools.
Yeah.
Right in San Juan, there is a government primary school, but it was 90% completed in 2015. 90%. And after 5 years, you now hire a contractor this year to try to complete the next 10%. While students in that school suffered for 5 years because they didn't have a proper place to call home in terms of a school. You can't govern like that. Why didn't you finish the schools? Why don't they come to the population and tell us why? Why it took a pandemic to open the Kuva Children's Hospital? Why did it take a pandemic for you to now rush to open the Point Fortin Hospital? Why it is that you close down Petrotrin? What is the real reason? Why it is that you are going to engage in a sale of Petrotrin right before a general election?
Yeah.
These are pertinent questions that we need to ask.
Yeah.
You can't just come now and make all of these big decisions on the heel of an election because we know you are going to exit office very soon. You have to ensure that there's proper decision making and consultation before we go forward. And with respect to the policy in terms of the economy, because I think that is one of the biggest issues going forward in this election.
Yeah, should be.
We spoke of diversification. There are 12 main projects that the political leader has.
No.
We spoke of diversification. The PNM has not spoken of that. In fact, Dr. Rowley went so far to go on a platform and insult Mr. Mariano Brown when he was asking about diversifying the economy. Right? Made fun of him. You can't, as a prime minister, you should be more responsible in terms of telling the country, giving businessmen confidence in how we can go forward. Why it is safe to invest in Trinidad and Tobago. And once we stimulate the economy, things will start to happen. Because now you'll have money with respect to hiring persons, you'll have money to fix infrastructure, invest in sports, invest in tourism. So you have to fix the economy first before we can start looking at the development of other areas.
All right. So I know, as you're saying, there's a lot of youth in the constituency that you're the candidate for. What is your, let's say, what's your direct plan for these youths? Because I know we go around, we see a lot of them lying on the block, they have no jobs, as you say, unemployment is big in certain parts of the constituency. Certain parts, it's not that they on the block, but they have no opportunities. Because they qualified. So what do you tell? Okay, I'm sitting on home listening to 91.9 now. I'm on one of the streets in Barataria. And I'm also up on the other side of the main road by the crazy there, right? And also down in El Sikoro. Tell me what talk to those three people.
We are not promising jobs in terms of cleaning a job, a 10 days or a CPEP job. Youths in this country deserve sustainable jobs. When I speak to them, that is what they're asking for, Bigz, they're telling me that they want a permanent job. Because they want to build a home, and they want to provide for their family, and they want to buy a car.
And they want to start to invest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And some of them are interested in even opening their own businesses. So those youths must be given an opportunity to do so. Instead of you have nothing to do for the entire day, we have to keep them busy in terms of being productive. Because when they are productive, the country becomes more productive and the community benefits.
And it also helps stem the crime. It helps stems a lot of rippling effects.
It is going to build the economy as well, because if you have people working, you understand, it's not about pressuring the youths. And once people are working, the economy itself will grow.
Yeah.
Because, as they say, once people are paying their taxes, and not to tax people into poverty, it helps build the economy.
And we are saying that you have to create that environment for sustainable jobs.
Yeah.
Because the PNM could promise whatever 10 days or URP. That we can't do that. That doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
We're in 2020.
It's not
right?
1962.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? We have to give the youths that opportunity. Who would have thought that at age 26 I would have sat in the Senate?
Yeah.
If I was given that opportunity, others like me have to be given the same opportunity. And we must promote that.
I can't remember what I did at 26. No, but that's excellent, because I have always said that I think there's not a good transitioning of the older ones to the youths. For years I've said it, these people there, and they don't want to move. But, and they're always quick to the youths this, the youths that. But if you don't give them the opportunity for them to show what they're capable of doing.
Well, Dr. Rowley has shown that disposition, because as soon as the entire slate was announced for the United National Congress for this election, his first comment was that Kamala has a kindergarten.
Yeah.
Well, if I have to respond to him, I would say that we don't have a kindergarten. We have a bunch of competent people on this side who are ready to run the affairs of the people of Trinidad and Tobago. When we were appointed to be senators, myself, Senator Obika, Senator Anita Haynes, and Senator Sobers, almost every single bill that comes to the Senate, we will speak on it. Tell me how many of the young persons on the PNM bench speaks.
Interesting.
When last did you hear Adrian Leon's make a contribution in the House? When last did you hear Foster Cummings make a contribution in the Senate? When last did you hear Avinash Singh?
Interesting. And they say they're doing so much for the youths, but you're pressuring the youths.
They're suppressing the voice of the youth in the parliament.
But maybe
they're window dressing.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was
It's a
about
window
to say.
dressing.
Yeah.
So we in the UNC have shown that we are competent enough to debate bills, that we are brave enough to go and represent people. Not that you're going to be there because you're young. No, because we have the ability to do so. The political leader said it. It's competent youth with the right mix of experience.
All right. So, I think we should be ready to wrap up. All right. So, what I'm gonna do now? You wanna take some calls, or you wanna just wrap up?
That's up to you.
Let's take some calls.
Let's take some calls.
You outside?
All right. We take a few because you have a lot on your plate. So
As soon as I leave here, it's back to the campaign office,
Right,
and then
exactly.
hitting the road again.
Yeah. So
So we're asking the people of Barataria.
the constituents of Barataria.
Barataria Sawa.
Yeah.
To call us, the numbers are 342-0081. Our WhatsApp line 771-1791 466-5391. All right, those numbers again: 342-0081. WhatsApp number 771-1791 and 466-5391.
Let's go straight to the lines. Not wasting time. Good afternoon.
Hey, pleasant good day.
Yes.
I would like to ask the Honorable Mr. Saddem Hosein what is his intentions, some of his intentions for the people of Barataria, San Juan.
All right. All right. All right. Well, let's know if you. All right. Good.
Right. As I said, we have identified based on our walkabouts and the manifesto committee what we have seen. We have seen that we need to provide employment opportunities for the youth. We have infrastructural issues that we need to deal with to prevent flooding, and also there's a mosquito issue. We have to look at crime,
Yeah.
and we definitely have to look at sports and recreational activities in the area, because Barataria is a big football area.
Yeah.
Right.
How are the sporting
The
facilities, the recreation facilities,
Well-
as you've walked in all the areas?
Yeah.
How are they?
I can tell you that there's a need for maintenance, and there's also a need for upgrade.
Yeah.
Right, because you have some of those equipments there that is of some age.
Yeah.
So we definitely have to upgrade there. There's actually one basketball court that is controlled by the corporation. That is something that we have to look at also. That needs some repairs. It needs some upgrading. So the thing is, we have to if we're going to ask for the youths to be involved, we have to get them involved.
Yeah.
And sports is one way, but sports is not the only way.
Yeah.
Right? Because persons, I think they have a misconception that all youths are only interested in sports. No.
No, that's not.
No, the youths they're interested in making a change, a difference through whatever means,
Yeah.
business, through
Technology.
politics, technology.
Yeah.
There's so much to offer, and they have so much talent that
Yeah.
we really have to tap into.
Yeah,
it.
this generation of youths are totally they on a different wavelength. I see my son is what, 9 years old, and he's teaching me stuff. No, serious. I was like, they're way ahead of
I
us.
have a 5-year-old nephew, and
Yeah.
when you give him the phone, he could do everything on
Yeah.
YouTube and
Without you telling
without-
them.
yeah.
Yeah,
And they find their own music videos,
Yeah,
and there's nursery rhymes. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Now,
I-
and as we're talking about the children, what about the early childhood care in the constituency of Barataria, San Juan?
Right. There is a need for us to provide some more space for that sector, but there's also a need to also grow the other sectors in terms of the primary school, that the Sawa school I just spoke of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give the students their proper space and the teachers a proper working environment, and also some of the secondary schools, right? The Barataria secondary school. But we have one of I don't like to use this word, but one of the so-called, well, they call it prestigious colleges.
Yeah.
We have St.
St.
George's.
George's
St.
College.
George's, yeah. in the-
I don't believe in prestigious schools,
Yeah.
simply because I can tell you my background. I came from a senior sec,
Yeah.
right? I went to Cambridge, I'm a senior sec.
Yeah.
So it's not the school, but it is always the child.
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
teach the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, so we know you have to go. So I just want to give you a minute or so, and you talk to the people of your constituency. Stop the music. You talk to them. You tell them what you want to tell them, because I doubt you'll be back before election to visit us.
Yeah, because of the
Yeah,
time.
because of the pace and the time frame.
So all the people in Barataria, so I was listening to you right now.
No, you
talk to them.
You talk to them. It's yours. Stop the press. Right.
We're going with the mantra of this election that now is the time. Now is really the time for a change. This election will determine the next 5 years of our country. And if you did not like how the affairs of our country is running for the last 5 years, well, then you definitely know what you have to do. I'm asking for your support, the people of Barataria, San Juan. I'm a young man. I come with a wealth of experience, but I also come with professionalism and competence. I will do my best to represent you with the best of my abilities. As we go forward in this election, I ask you for that support so that we can get our constituency the resources and its needs, so that we can raise your standard of living. And by putting Barataria San Juan in the hands of the UNC, you will also be putting Trinidad and Tobago in the hands of the UNC with proper governance under the leadership of the Honorable Kamala Prasad Bisessa. Because now is the time now is the time to get Trinidad and Tobago working again. And if I have to throw one political jab, Barataria Sawa, they deserve a MP, not a MC.
All right, so Mr. Saddem Hosein, thank you for joining us
Yeah,
today.
definitely. It was a pleasure having
It was
you.
a
Thank you
pleasure
for having
having
me.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so all the best of luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, and I'm sure you'll see us out.
Definitely.
You'll see us out.
And
Definitely.
I could tell Trinidad and Tobago, this is the MP, the next MP for Barataria Sound. All right, so let's take a quick break and we're going to be right back.